In a quiet town where mornings smelled of wet grass and evenings echoed with distant azan and children's laughter, there lived a golden Labrador named Bruno. His fur was the color of early sunlight, soft and warm, and his eyes held a kindness that made strangers pause and smile. Bruno was not just a dog, he was the silent heartbeat of his family, a presence that stitched their lives together in ways words never could. Bruno had been brought home as a tiny puppy on a rainy afternoon. He fit into the man's palm, trembling slightly, his nose pink and damp. Ayan, the youngest child of the family, had named him Bruno after hugging him once and refusing to let go. From that moment on, Bruno belonged to them, and they belonged to him. He grew up alongside the children, learning the rhythm of their lives, the rush of school mornings, the calm of afternoons, and the quiet warmth of nights when the family gathered together. As Bruno grew, so did his sense of responsibility. He learned where the family kept their shoes and would guard them like treasure. He learned which footsteps belonged to his people and which did not. When the father returned from work tired and silent, Bruno would sit beside him, resting his head on his knee, as if saying without words that he was not alone. When the mother cooked in the kitchen, Bruno lay near her feet, his tail thumping softly whenever she looked down at him. The children treated Bruno as their brother. Ayan shared his secrets with him, whispering dreams of becoming a pilot. Sarah, the older sister, read her school lessons aloud while Bruno listened patiently, his head tilted as if understanding every word. In the afternoons, Bruno ran with them in the open field, chasing a worn-out ball, never tiring, always coming back with pride shining in his eyes. But life, as gentle as it seemed, was not always kind. One winter evening, the father lost his job. The house grew quieter. Laughter faded, and worry settled into every corner. Bruno felt it before anyone spoke about it. He noticed the longer silences, the restless nights, the heavy sighs. He responded the only way he knew how, by staying closer. He followed the mother from room to room, lay beside the children as they studied, and slept near the front door, alert and protective. Money became tight, and discussions about selling things began. One night, when Bruno lay pretending to sleep, he heard the word rehoming. The mother's voice trembled as she spoke it. She loved Bruno deeply, but fear made her consider the unthinkable. Bruno did not understand the words fully, but he understood the sadness behind them. That night, he did not sleep. He sat quietly, watching the family, memorizing their faces as if afraid they might disappear. Days passed, and Bruno's behavior changed. He became gentler, more obedient, as if trying to prove his worth. He never made a mess, never barked unnecessarily, and stayed by the children like a shadow. The family noticed, and guilt mixed with love in their hearts. They realized that Bruno was not a burden, he was a source of strength. One afternoon, something happened that changed everything. Ayan wandered too far while playing near the road. A speeding motorcycle came dangerously close. Bruno saw it before anyone else did. In a heartbeat, he ran, pushing Ayan aside and standing between him and danger. The motorcycle screeched to a halt inches away. People rushed over, shaken but unharmed. Bruno stood firm, tail low, eyes alert, guarding his boy. That moment spread through the neighborhood like fire. People spoke of the Labrador who saved a child. The father heard about it from a neighbor, and something inside him shifted. He knelt in front of Bruno that night, his eyes wet, his hands shaking as he hugged him tightly. "Your family," he whispered. "We don't give up on family." Slowly, life began to heal. The father found work again, not glamorous, but honest. The house filled with laughter once more. Bruno returned to his playful self, chasing birds, rolling in the grass, and greeting every family member as if they had been gone for years. Time, however, is a silent traveler. Years passed, and Bruno grew older. His steps slowed, his muzzle turned white, but his heart remained young. He no longer ran fast, but he still waited by the door. He no longer jumped high, but he still wagged his tail with the same love. The children grew taller, their voices deeper, but Bruno recognized them all the same. One evening, Bruno struggled to stand. The family gathered around him, fear heavy in the air. The vet spoke softly, explaining age and time and things that could not be fixed. Bruno lay on his favorite blanket, his breathing slow, his eyes calm. He looked at each family member, as if saying goodbye in his own quiet way. When Bruno passed, the house felt empty in a way that could not be explained. His bowl remained untouched. His spot by the door felt sacred. The children cried openly, and the parents did not stop them. Weeks later, they planted a tree in the yard, right where Bruno used to lie in the sun. They said his love would grow with it. Years later, when Ayan became a pilot and Sarah went to university, they still spoke of Bruno. They spoke of loyalty, of unconditional love, of a dog who taught them what family truly meant. And on quiet mornings, when the wind rustled through the leaves of that tree, it almost felt like Bruno was still there, watching, protecting, loving, forever.